graduated now?
Left side, go to the middle aisle.
Do we need to line up? You all have to take one step. Yeah.
Not Wally, right?
Every day before school.
He really is. I think he charges a little bit more.
You want both? Okay.
Good morning, folks. We're about to start. Bells notwithstanding, please find a seat. We welcome the beginning of these festivities as we honor the great form of 2024. We stand for them as they emerge from those gates, those doors. Welcome all. Welcome to all who have joined us today. Trustees, parents, families, and friends. Welcome all. I would also like to extend a warm welcome to our 6th Headmaster, Bill Polk. And to a former president of the Groton School Board of Trustees and a member of the Forum of 1957, Gordon Gund. I begin this segment of our Prize Day ceremony by introducing our current board president, Ben Pine, a graduate of the Forum of 1977 and a parent of 2 sons who know the circle equally well. Graduates, Gordon, Forum of 2012, and Britton, Forum of 2015, and the best of them all, Janet Pine, who gave them life. Mr. Pine assumed his duties as president of the board in 2020. Mr. Pine, the podium is yours.
Thank you. Headmaster, thank you very much. Good morning. Good morning. On behalf of the trustees of Groton School, we welcome all of you from all over the world here on this beautiful and special Prize Day to celebrate the incredible Forum of 2024. And also on behalf of the trustees, we congratulate each and every one of you in the Forum of 2024. I can feel the excitement in this tent, the excitement that is shared with everyone here, but no more so than your parents, families, and friends who have been there for you over these years and who are so proud of you right now. So now I think it would be a fantastic time to stand up, turn around, and thank your parents and everyone who has supported you through your journey here at Groton. Thank you. As a Groton graduate myself who was in the very place you are now 47 years ago, I thought that I would share with you 4 aspects of my time at Groton that remain especially meaningful to me today: curiosity, values, self-confidence, and friendship. Clearly, all of us are more knowledgeable when we leave Groton than when we arrive. That is a given. But for me, Groton instilled a sense of curiosity and interest in continuing to learn that stands with me today. That curiosity has benefited me throughout my life, whether at school, work, or life in general. There is always something new to learn, no matter at what age or what level one has achieved. To me, truly, it is one of the aspects that has allowed me to do far more in my life than I ever imagined when I was in your chairs 47 years ago. Groton also instilled in me a set of core values that I live by to this day: honesty and integrity, knowing right from wrong, respect, serving others, and the basics on how to behave in a community like this one, which is a preview for the much larger community you are about to enter beyond the circle. Of course, our parents and families also instill values from a very early age. But for me, Groton reinforced them in a way that made them part of who I am and how I conduct myself. Please don't take this lightly, as you will find in life that the values you learned here will stand you in good stead, especially during tough times or in making difficult decisions. I do not think it is a coincidence that Franklin Roosevelt kept an ongoing relationship with the rector, Endicott Peabody, throughout his years in the White House. Building self-confidence is another area that I'm particularly grateful for. If you were anything like me, and I'm sure you were all much smarter, but my first term at Groton was abysmal. There was no hope during my first parent-teacher conferences. But like all of us, I worked hard, I made my way, I figured out the academic side of things, learned how to study better, made new friends, and through the encouragement of the incredible faculty here, realized I was personally capable of so much more than I ever thought possible. That confidence has certainly been tested over the years in my life after Groton, but through each experience I built on the confidence that I gained here and continue to grow no matter how tough or challenging the situation. I knew I had done it here, so I knew that I could do it again out there. Guarantee that you will get pushback, have challenging moments and some very bad days, but I hope that the confidence you have gained through your years at Groton will power you through those tough times when you need it to. The final category is friendship. The friendships that I formed here have truly lasted me a lifetime. About 6 years ago, I was in a recording studio in Los Angeles with a group of young executives and a formate from Groton. At one point during the meeting, my formate said to the group, who were mostly in their 30s, maybe early 40s, "Do you know that Ben and I have known each other for almost 50 years?" There was silence, because in Hollywood, 5 years is forever. How is that possible? We can't believe it. Who does that? Well, the Groton school community that you are part of does that. Having just been on campus for the recent reunions where I spent time with members of the forms of 1954, 1964, and 1974, I was heartened and overjoyed to see so many friendships thrive after 50, 60, or 70 years. You will all go your separate ways, create your own lives, but I hope you find, like me and so many others, that the friendships you made here endure and even grow. Curiosity, values, self-confidence, and friendship are a few of the aspects that mean the most to me from my Groton experience and have certainly made my life after Groton incredibly full and rewarding on so many levels. I encourage you to reflect on what aspects of your Groton experience have meant the most to you as you go through your lives. And know that the Groton community at large and the friendships that you made will always be there for you. So again, on behalf of all of us, congratulations to the Forum of 2024. Go well and the very best in all that you do. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Pine. Don't go well yet. I just have to go off script and acknowledge Tim and his team who made sure this place was spick and span. They're in that corner and they do more than you can ever know. The witty, gritty form of 2024 is in the house. Rather than wallow in self-pity during the pandemic and complain incessantly about the strict protocols, they focused on X's and O's and took care of business, as well as the nitty-gritty. Therefore, the moniker of the witty-gritty form of 2024, that they deserve more than any other form. They refreshed and rekindled the school's traditions that had gone by the wayside due to strict restrictions around social distancing. Simply put, they awakened to their responsibilities. They saw challenges as opportunities and tackled them head on. One enduring image of the witty-gritty form is around their accomplishments in sports. For the first time, since Will and I came here 11 years ago, the boys conquered an ISL nemesis. That will remain unnamed out of respect. 14-13 in football, where they use their hands. And under the lights on Parents' Weekend, in a thrilling match, they bested the same school in football, where, except for the goalkeeper, the use of hands is a foul. And then there was a mammoth first home run hit on the brand new baseball field by home run king Forrest Nelson. Subsequently at Pala, he gifted me this autograph home run ball. And Mr. President, even when I retire, I'm taking it with me. I'm not leaving it here. And then there were the sisters. The indomitable girls hockey, field hockey, lacrosse, tennis teams, track, what else can I say? They triumphed and dominated other schools when the field hockey team reached the semifinals against Middlesex. I swallowed hard, changed my airline ticket, and headed to Concord just as school was starting the fall break. Even though Middlesex came on top, we came in second. After all, no one loses at Groton. We have the best grass under our feet, the softest. So, yes, how can you lose when you're at Groton? How can you lose on a day like this? Girls rowing is off to Henley after besting teams at Quinsigamond. Girls tennis has been ISL champs 3 years in a row. This is the definition of grit. For the aforementioned boys' soccer game under the lights, the spirit prefects asked the fans to wear the mostly black t-shirts emblazoned with the Roll Zeebs insignia on the front. Earlier that fall, they came into my office to ask for money to buy the t-shirts. Thinking that these would be inexpensive, as only half a dozen of them comprised the spirit committee, I gave them the go-ahead to have the design and purchase the shirts. Now, this American African thought there were only 6 of these. They looked at each other in excitement and said, "All 400 of them." Gulp. I tried to get out of this expensive deal, but I must admit, I was soft. I dissolved in their smiles. And then, of course, thinking they would not pull it off, I asked them to write a proposal, replete with costs, sizes, design, and distribution methodologies. They seemed unfazed, and in less than a week, handed me their proposal. The witty, gritty form, indeed, took care of the nitty-gritty and awakened to their responsibilities to bring the community together. It now gives me great pleasure to introduce the sixth form class speaker, Arjun Amit Ray.
Hello all and good morning. Welcome to our headmaster, trustees, distinguished guests, faculty, students, and families and friends. We are Groton School's 139th graduating form, and I cannot convey a greater privilege than to speak on behalf of my classmates today. The form of 2024 is, in many ways, a phoenix rising from the ashes of the past. The majority of us entered Groton several years ago amid a broader world that had slipped into the throes of tumult with a ferocity that left us stranded in confusion and uncertainty. For the most part, the world still has a great deal of recovery ahead, a recovery that fate has entrusted us, you and me, with undertaking. The fact that we are all gathered here today is nothing short of a testament to stories of unyielding resilience and a refusal to fall victim to worse and weaker impulses. I'd like to first thank the student body and my fellow members of the Forum of 24 who, as I'll get into, have welcomed me into a community of strength like no other. Second, we all owe a debt of gratitude to every single member of the faculty and staff who have created and nurtured an ecosystem for us to grow. Third, particularly as I look out on all of you, to the parents and families who have sacrificed and supported us to provide the opportunity of a lifetime. If you'll indulge me for just a bit, I'd like to do a few things. First, to probe and gather what we can from the annals of the past. Second, to press pause and admire the present. And third, to finally look toward the future. To start with, the past. Whether 2, 3, 4, or 5 years ago, we stepped onto the circle with lofty expectations for ourselves and for Groton. In almost all cases, reality exceeded them. Speaking for myself, I can say that my perception of boarding schools back then was shaped off pure fable. As I discovered when I first took the train up to Boston, Penn Station is a far cry from platform 9 3/4. And rather than being offered a trolley of sweets on the Hogwarts Express, someone threw up on the Amtrak seat next to me. It also turns out that people here don't dress like they do in Dead Poets Society. Anyways, it would be simple to stand here and recount tales of our struggles, but I'm mindful of the words of a former Prize Day guest speaker, who cautioned the audience, quote, "You will discover a certain perverse anger in yourself if any of your successors dare to say that they had a worse time than you. There is no joy comparable to that of remembered martyrdom," end quote. Simply put, he's saying that we have a tendency to become so consumed by our own hardships that we cannot fathom the possibility that past and future generations have and will face ones of equal or greater magnitude. He's right. As a sixth former, I can tell you that when a lower schooler complains about the difficulties of school, there's a certain validation that comes from nonchalantly chuckling and giving a back in my day spiel that laments how life was so much more difficult for us back then, even though deep inside we know it was not. Still, we gather here together as it slowly dawns upon us that we finally completed the path that few elect to trod. But we've done it in so many different ways, and now we're headed in so many different directions. As I look back, I have to ask, what is it that binds us together now? Now that we will no longer be bound by a common location, what is the common link that remains between us? A few weeks ago, while munching on a PB&J during 10 to 12, it hit me. I should probably stop wasting time asking myself nonsense philosophical questions and finish the neglected physics project on my desk. Thankfully, the answer found its way to me sometime later as I was reading a speech delivered by the journalist John Mason Brown to the Forum of 1958. And he said, quote, "We in a democracy shrink from such a term as the elite. If, however, we denude the word of its ugly overtones of snobbishness, if we cleanse it of its perversions, if we remove from it the odious suggestion of social superiority and think of it standing only for the best, the true best, then there is no reason why we should be embarrassed by it. There is every reason why we should be proud of the word. We cannot afford to remain ashamed of the best." Mr. Brown's sentiment can be summed up in one word: privilege. Admittedly today, that word has become bogged down in the abyss of culture wars and politics, diminishing much of its value. When we hear privilege today, we conjure up an image of the person who looks down at their peers from a pedestal built with bricks of arrogance and condescension. This is the elite that exists for the sole purpose of leaving a legacy as such. But Brown speaks of a different kind of privilege, one that rejects tyranny and embraces egalitarianism. Rather than the person atop the pedestal, he speaks of the woman or man who stands on the ground at eye level with their peers and who has the gift of empathy and an understanding of how to positively impact them. These thoughtful few are the rarest elite, but they are the ones that the world is in most dire need of right at this moment. And it's from places like Groton that I am most confident they will emerge. Turning to the present, I can say with confidence that I'm not quite there yet. Seeing as we are all on the cusp of adulthood, I'm sure that very few, if any of us at all, are. We probably won't be for decades, but we're not far off. For most of my 3 years, I was unsure of exactly what I was striving towards. We were all fueled by some ambition, some boundless, seemingly infinite reserve of energy, but to what end? A flurry of material and nominal achievements, maybe a flawless quiz or an essay well done, provided a mild satisfaction that only lasted as long until we inevitably became disillusioned with it. Along the way, I sometimes fell short of the person that I sought to be. My actions did not always reflect the friend, student, son, and brother that I wanted them to. But that's where you all, the Groton community, stepped in. Here, in this final emotion-filled hour, as we turn the page and look ahead, you are, in every sense of the word as I define it, elite. But not in a way that any ranking or other metric can capture. The things that I have seen you do when you come together are astounding, and they have motivated me to continue having faith that greater things await down the road for all of us. Whether you were singing out your hearts at open mic, devouring generational amounts of cup noodles and taquitos at 1 a.m., or putting up professional performances in games of cornhole, the circle never failed to leave me in a state of awe. As Mr. Brown said, we cannot be ashamed of the best, and thinking of you all right now, I am anything but. We served as role models for one another, sources of daily inspiration that kept us going, whether we realized it or not. You have distinguished yourselves in a capacity to be a force of good, both here and beyond, form of 2024, and in being among your ranks has been a privilege for me. But finally, in just minutes and hours from now, we together will cross the line from past and present into the future. And as we do so, I'd like to build upon Mr. Brown's thesis. We are greeted by the unpleasant reality that we face a world in which the optimism we've fostered and grown accustomed to here is foreign. Instead of the power of what we can achieve together, there is a greater focus on individuals fighting over scraps, trying to bolster themselves with little regard for others. The good-natured way we strive to support each other on the circle is replaced by a moral ennui, where the definitions of justice and injustice, right and wrong, are not always clear. There won't be a Sean Green to smile and wave at me starting tomorrow. There won't be a David Porter to joke with, a Critica to laugh and giggle with, an Alan to school me in physics, an Amelia to have bipartisan debates with, or a Leo Sorodio to tweak with. The harsh reality is that starting tomorrow, the burden falls on us to carry forward what we've started here, no matter how far apart we are. There's an ethos unique to this place that we need to grab onto before it is either lost in the wind or someone snatches it away. For the past few years, we've awoken every morning and been greeted by the rich murmur of a hymn played from an organ and the sun beaming down on us through stained glass windows. It's our turn to play the music where it can't be heard and serve as the beacon of light where it is dim for the compassion we hold dear in our hearts. To my classmates and Groton, it has been the honor of a lifetime to be with you all. Thank you.
All I can say is, wow. It's my pleasure to award prizes, some of which, or most of which were chosen by the faculty. So if you don't get a prize, like I said yesterday, we all are getting a prize because we walk and step on the best grass anywhere. So in all seriousness, I would like Kira and Jeremy Gall to come forward, please. I would like these two to be by my side as I talk about them. I know this is not tradition. The Charles Lanier Appleton Prize is awarded to two members of the sixth form who have greatly served the school. The form of 2024 honorees are Kira Hadley Lai and Jeremiah Isaiah Lenzel Gall. I will start with the sister. I start with the brothers in sports. Kira Hadley Lai. There is a saying that leaders are not created but born. Kira Lai is a born leader. Many of her peers looked up to her on the hockey rink, field hockey fields, and some of us looked to her for leadership in the school. One morning, I asked her what she thought about the fact that we had reduced the required workload for third formers from 6+1 to 5+1. Without hesitation, she said it was important to let the students come up for air and not rush through their lunch, and also spend time with their form mates. Not that I would have changed my mind, but coming from a leader of her excellence, that statement from a student laid bare the importance of mindfulness around the well-being of our younger students. A senior prefect par excellence, not for self. You are a gifted leader and a gift to the school. Congratulations. Jeremiah Isaiah Lenzel Gall. Jeremiah Gall, whom I call simply JG, never forgot the lesson I shared with him, where I reminded him about the importance of saying thank you before you say please. At Groton, Walker Smith, a senior prefect of the form of 2021, gifted us the term gratitude. I only had to say this once for Jeremy to remember to always preface any request with gratitude, even before good morning. Thank you, Jeremy, for learning this often overlooked aspect of our humanity. Your exemplar of grit in running on the track is part of the reason I associate the grit with this witty, gritty form. In addition, sharing a chapel talk where you express love for your late grandmother set a beautiful tone for the year. I call you JG because you are just and you are good. Congratulations. The Asma Gal Hassan form of 1993 Circle Voice Journalism Prize acknowledges outstanding leadership in creating, editing, and producing the school's newspaper. This prize goes to two students, Eric Gere and Alisa Kuliansky. The Tronick Award is given in honor of Michael G. Tronick and awarded to members of the sixth form who demonstrate a strong commitment to building the community of readers in the school. The two sixth formers are Sion Brooke and Jasmine Powell. The Bishop Julius Outward Literature and History Prize is given by the late Right Reverend Julius Atwood to the best scholar in the combined fields of history and literature. This prize is awarded to Sheena Bakari. The Butler Prize for Excellence in English is given by Mrs. Gilbert Butler. This prize goes to two students, Jasmine Powell and Alisa Goliansky. The Laura J. Coolidge Form of 1985 Poetry Prize is given in her memory by her husband, Peter Tush, to a member of the upper school who has shown a love for the power of poetic expression and a sustained interest in writing and reading poetry. This prize is awarded to Maddie Sinclair. The George Livingston Nichols Prize is for the best essay on a historical subject. This prize is awarded to Isabella Gardner. The Perry History Prize is given by Mrs. Eliza Endicott Perry to the best scholar in the field of history. This year's scholar is Andres Palacios. The Rogers V. Scudder Classics Prize is given in memory of Roger Scudder, a distinguished teacher of classics at Groton and a beloved member of this community. This prize goes to Jessica Lee. The Franklin D. Roosevelt Debating Prize is given in memory of Franklin D. Roosevelt, form of 1900, by W. Elrell Harriman, form of 1909. This year's prize is awarded to two students, Alisa Koliansky and Arjun Ray. The Endicott Peabody Memorial Prize is given in memory of the Reverend Endicott Peabody by the Sixth Form of 1945 for excellence in the field of religion and ethics. This prize is awarded to two students, Hussein Lada and Jasmine Powell. The Isaac Jackson Memorial Prize is awarded to the best mathematics scholar in the upper school. This year's scholar is C.J. Amale. The New England Science Teachers Award goes to a student who, through personal initiative, has done the most to promote awareness of science or technology. This award goes to two students, Eric Ge and Alan Fang. The Bertrand B. Hopkins Environmental Sciences Prize is given by the Form of 1948. It is awarded annually to a student who has demonstrated outstanding achievements in environmental studies. This prize goes to Charles Rogers. The Thorpe Science Prize is given by Mrs. Warren Thorpe to a member of the Sixth Form who has been the most successful in developing an appreciation of the spirit and meaning of science. This Sixth Form student is C.J. Amale. The World Language Prize is awarded to three students, Veronica Hadamovsky for Spanish, Chloe Farrell for French, Ava Bridges for Chinese. The Hudson Music Prize is given by the Friends of William Clark Hudson, Form of 1956, to show the recognition of outstanding effort and progress in music during the school year. This prize goes to Brittany Dang. The Dennis Crowley Drama Prize is given by Todd C. Bottles, Form of 2001, to a student who has made the greatest contribution to the theater program. This year, the prize is awarded to two students, Ebun Lawore and Timothy Herbert. The photography prize goes to William Chen. The Choir Cup, established in 1915, is awarded annually to a chorister who shows the greatest improvement and musical growth in sight reading and vocal technique. This year's award goes to two choristers, Africa Gay and Ebun Lawore. The Upper School Shop Prize goes to two students, Colby Gand and Ben Milner. The Reverend Frederick R. Kellogg Upper School Art Prize is given in his memory in recognition of distinguished work in art. This prize is awarded to two students, Zimo Liu and Pao Pao Zhang. The Elizabeth and Marjorie Peabody Award is given to a member of the sixth form other than a school prefect, whose contributions to the community demonstrate sensitivity, strength of character, leadership, and integrity. This honor goes to Amelia Barnum. The Reginald Fink Jr. Medal is given by the Sixth Form of 1928 in memory of First Lieutenant Reginald Fink Jr. and is awarded to a member of the Sixth Form who has shown in athletics qualities of perseverance, courage, and unselfish sportsmanship. This year's medal goes to Sean Green. The Cornelia Emery Frothingham Athletic Prize is given by her parents and awarded to a member of the sixth form who has demonstrated all-around athletic ability and has shown exemplary qualities of leadership and sportsmanship. This prize goes to Kira Lai. The William V. Larkin Form of 1972 Award is given to the Groton student who best exemplifies courage and perseverance in meeting a challenge or overcoming adversity. The recipient of this award is Amelia Barnum. The final award, the Carol and John King Hodges Prize, is given in memory of Carol Hodges, form of 1905, and John King Hodges, form of 1910. For being a student who recognizes that whatever differences we have are reconcilable, I would like to honor C.J. Amale. Thank you to the folks who helped us prepare this. Just a little bit of history, as I said yesterday, from the rector to Mr. Nozio, is a span of many distinguished teachers and alums who actually help facilitate this, and of course, our great registrar who makes sure that things are in order. Thank you so much, Christine. It is now my pleasure to introduce today's keynote speaker, Van Jones. CNN host, best-selling author, attorney, and civil rights activist, Mr. Jones has founded numerous successful enterprises engaged in social and environmental justice. He has also steered several bipartisan legislative efforts, racking up wins under 4 US presidents, Clinton, Bush, Obama, and Trump. Well known for his heartfelt coverage of often volatile political news and current events, Mr. Jones is a voice of reason through his persistent advocacy for the collective ability to stand in one another's shoes and disagree constructively. Please join me in welcoming Van Jones.
I'm all emotional. I don't even know y'all. Glad to be here. Y'all that got prizes, congratulations. I have 3 degrees. I never got any prize, so if you didn't get a prize, you still might be up here someday. So I want to start off by talking to the most important people here who are not y'all. I want to talk to Mama and Daddy and Grandma, Grandpa, and the guardians. These are smart kids, man. They know a lot of stuff. But they don't know how hard this was for you. They don't remember the nights when there was a fever and you didn't know if it was going to break. They don't remember the heartbreak you went through privately and had to shield them from. They don't remember the scrapes and the scuffles and the parent-teacher conferences when you weren't sure if they were going to make it. But you kept it together. And they're here because of their own effort and their own genius and their own destiny, and because of you. You done good. Thank you, Mom. Thank you, Daddy. Thank you. Thank you, guardians. Thank you. You done good. You done good. Now I ask for you. I'm not going to baby talk to you, especially after Arjun came up here and gave a speech that made me rewrite my speech. You guys are clearly a special generation, mainly because you've had some bad times. You've gone through some stuff. You came into a world upside down and on fire, and it's not changing soon. And I want to say, good. 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 I'm glad you've had it tough. I'm glad you've had it tough, because you're going into a tough century. And no pressure, no diamonds. No pressure, no diamonds. We need diamonds in this century. And so the challenges that you faced, more to come. More to come. And we are betting on you to do better than my generation did in the face of these challenges. And there is a danger that I don't think people are talking with you about clearly enough. We're so impressed with you. We're so stunned by you. We have to ask you for help with our devices, which is quite embarrassing as an adult. In some ways, you're so advanced that I think we don't warn you that you have a danger of getting the assignment for your generation wrong. You have a big assignment, but there's a danger that you get it wrong. I'm watching the young people now, you deconstruct everything so beautifully. You deconstruct racism, bless you. You deconstruct sexism, bless you. You deconstruct gender itself. You deconstruct the corporate pollution. All these things you deconstruct beautifully. But that is not your assignment only. The assignment isn't just to deconstruct everything you see, it's can you reconstruct something better? Can your generation reconstruct something better? That's the challenge. That's the challenge. And that's not as easy as it looks. But it's especially important that you recognize that that is your generational assignment, because as you leave here, you're entering a global civilization on the birth edge of something new. A new human civilization is going to be born on your watch. I'm going to say that again. If nobody told you this, a new human civilization is going to be born on your watch. How do I know that? I have two very small children. One is 2 years old, one is 4 months old. We have small diapers and very small diapers in my house. You guys remember that? You got to make sure you get the right one at night? Okay. What are their lives going to be like under your leadership? My daughter, who's 2, her first crush is not likely to be a pop star like your first crush, or a dashing cartoon character like your first crush, or a TV star like your first crush. Her first crush is likely to be an AI. That's the new human civilization. My little guy, under your leadership, by the time he's 10 years old, he's going to have a lot of buddies. Some of them will be human. And a couple might be robots. And we'll see them as toys. He will see them as his friends. That's a new human civilization. By the time my daughter is 30 years old, because of advances in biotech, when it's time for her to give us grandchildren, she might open up a laptop or a holographic interface and design my grandchildren. That's a new human civilization. 80 years from now, 90 years from now, 100 years from now, when they're buried, they may be buried on the moon or Mars. In 100 years, we will be a fully spacefaring civilization under your leadership. That's a new human civilization. The question I put to you is simply this. Is this new human civilization you're going to be leaders of, will it be human and will it be civilized? Will it be human and will it be civilized? And I'm not sure that you understand as a generation the importance of civility in preserving civilization. I'm afraid, oh, you can clap for that. Oh, you can clap for that. Because it's so much more popular to cancel somebody. It's so much more popular to attack somebody. It's so much easier to go viral putting somebody down than lifting somebody up. And so I'm afraid you may not get the assignment right. Yeah, you can be popular being a divider. You can be popular being somebody who insults somebody. But that's not your assignment. You are co-founders of a new human civilization. And the most important choice you have to make right now is not what you're going to major in. Maybe you'll be an engineer. Maybe you'll be a theater major. Maybe you'll major in some stuff that don't even exist yet. That's not your most important choice. Your most important choice is, am I going to be in my profession a uniter or a divider? That's your choice. And I'm going to tell you, it's not easy trying to be a uniter in this culture. It is certainly not easy being a uniter in your generation, where it's so much easier to get attention doing it the other way. I'll tell you a quick story about a tough decision I had to make, to divide or to unite, and then I'll let you get your degree. But I'm not talking about something I don't know anything about, brother. There's a little bee around my head. I hope he stings you. No, I don't mean that. I love you. Look, I'm not telling you something I don't know about. I'm a very proud Democrat, as you may know. Certainly your parents know. But my greatest accomplishment was working with a Republican president. And I got a lot of flack for doing it. But let me tell you the true story of how it happened, which I've really never told personally, publicly. But I want you to understand how this stuff works. I'm a Democrat. When President Trump was elected, I was unhappy. And said so publicly. And when he got in office, his son-in-law, Jared Kushner, was unhappy with my unhappiness. So he took my boss out to dinner. It's a true story. I was working at CNN. He took my boss out and he said, here's the deal, Mr. Jeff Zucker, you boss of CNN. If you want access to the Trump White House, here's what you got to do. You got to fire Ana Navarro and you got to fire Van Jones, because they've been too tough on this President Trump. They've been too unfair to President Trump. And if you want to have access to this White House, CNN, you got to fire Van Jones. I thought this was unfriendly. So I went on TV that night and I said, Jared Kushner is riding his tricycle around in the Oval Office and needs to get a real job. He thought that was unfriendly. So we didn't start off friendly. But then he called me. And he said, Van, I did some research on you. And I realized that you spent most of your career trying to help people in prison, which is true. You spent most of your life trying to help people behind bars. I want you to know something. My father once went to prison. My father once went to federal prison. And I went to visit him every weekend. And I saw what he was going through. And I saw other people who didn't have our resources and what they were going through. And I wished at that time, Van, that somebody at the White House level had cared enough about me and my family to do something about those prisons, to help my family and to help those people. And there was nobody there. He said, but now I'm in the White House, and I want to do something about it. And Van, I need your help. And I said, crap! This is terrible! Jared Kushner, who works for Donald Trump, is calling me to ask for my help to help the Trump administration do literally anything. I'm going to get canceled. I'm going to get canceled. I'm going to get criticized. My friends are not going to understand what I'm doing. My hardcore Democratic friends are going to think I'm a traitor. You're a traitor. How can you go and help that administration do something? And then I thought about it. And I said, do I believe this stuff or don't I? Do I believe what I say? It's easy to make an idealistic speech. It's easy to write an idealistic essay, especially when you're trying to get into college. But do you mean it? Do you mean it? When there's a cost, when there's a consequence, when there's a price to be paid, do you mean it? And I thought about the people that I met behind bars over all these many years. And I never met a person behind bars who said to me, Van, I'm in prison, I'm hurting, I'm scared, I miss my children, I miss my parents, I miss my loved ones, I want to go home, please help me, but whatever you do, don't talk to any Republicans. I never heard that. They didn't care about who was in the White House, they wanted to go home to mama's house, they needed help. So I told Jared, I said, Jared, I'm gonna tell you, I'm going to quote my good friend, Jay-Z. With you, I got 99 problems, but prisons ain't one. I will work with you. I will work with you. And I caught hell. I caught hell. But we passed a bill called the First Step Act that the New York Times, not Fox News, the New York Times called the most significant breakthrough in criminal justice in a generation. That bill got 30,000 people home from federal prison. And by the way, ordinarily by now, 70% of those people will be back in prison. But by now, ordinarily 70% of those people would be back in trouble. We didn't have a 70% return to prison rate. We didn't have a 60% return to prison rate. We didn't have a 50% return to prison rate. We didn't have a 40% return to prison rate. We didn't have a 30% return to prison rate, Mr. Math Genius. We didn't. We didn't have a 20% return to prison rate. We had a 15% return to prison rate. Half of those were technical violations. 8% return to prison rate. The most successful prison reform in the history of prisons, signed by Donald Trump, and he handed me the pen. And he handed me the pen in the Oval Office. That's what civility gets you. That's what taking risks for unity gets you. The dividers win in the short term. The uniters win in the long term. The destroyers win in the short term. The builders win in the long term. The haters and the harmers win in the short term. But the lovers and the healers win in the long term. So choose to be a healer. Choose to be a uniter, even when it's not popular. Choose to be a builder. And as you construct this new human civilization, stay human, stay civilized, and build something beautiful. Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
I said wow at first, now I'm saying wow, wow. Oh, wowza. Thank you so much, Mr. Jones. I think this witty critic forum heard every single word you said, because they, I can assure you, are already builders. They understand restorative justice, and they want things to improve everywhere, which is why it's a great privilege and a great honor to start reading their names. As I said to them, I want to say your name at Prize Day. Now is the time. Are we ready? Daisy Yobo Adinkra, summa cum laude. Christian James Amalie, summa cum laude. Kritika Ariel cum laude. Sheena Oluwatoyin Bakari, magna cum laude. Amelia Flynn Barnum, summa cum laude. Inga Pavlova Bach, summa cum laude. Kogo Uniwa Emmanuel Sapana Benison, magna cum laude. Ava Jane Bridges, magna cum laude. Joy Carl, summa cum laude. Ryder Declan Kavanaugh, summa cum laude. Tian Kai Chen. Julia Gray Colarusso, cum laude. Gavin Colby Cronin. Cameron Thomas Cunningham, summa cum laude. Brittany Phoenix Dank, summa cum laude. Oliver Charles Dillon Dubois, cum laude. Oliver Michael Elhaj, magna cum laude. Emily Anna Elizabeth Engstrom, magna cum laude. Alan Fang, summa cum laude. Chloe Maureen Farrell, summa cum laude. Morgan Ashley Filion, cum laude. Devin McNeil Fitzgerald. Jeremy Isaiah Linzel Gall, cum laude. Luisa Garcia Ramos Petriccioli, magna cum laude. Isabella Louis Gardner, magna cum laude. Africa, Zahara Gay, cum laude. Eric Giakai Ge, summa cum laude. Carla Gabriella Granizo, magna cum laude. Sean Francis Green, cum laude. Alisa Kulianski, summa cum laude. Colby Coventry Gand, magna cum laude. Alicia Sophie Guo, summa cum laude. Griffin Parker Gura, magna cum laude. Veronica Teresa Hadamovsky, magna cum laude. Jiwoo Han, cum laude. Michaela Denise Hansen, cum laude. Michael Hogue Harrell Jr., summa cum laude. Timothy Alden Herbert, cum laude. Daniel Alejandro Jaime, cum laude. Grace Ann Strauss Janus, magna cum laude. Lauren Denin Jarrett, cum laude. Nathaniel Lowell Johnson, magna cum laude. Brandon Patrick Keegan II, magna cum laude. Evan Kim, magna cum laude. Catherine Southworth Knappel, magna cum laude. William George Hume Kokopoulos, magna cum laude. Miriam Clara Kovrika, magna cum laude. Hussein Muhammad Lada, summa cum laude. Jonathan Andrew Lai, summa cum laude. Fang Lam, summa cum laude. Ebunuloa Jane Lawore, cum laude. Amos Waters Lawrence, summa cum laude. Jungyun Jessica Lee, summa cum laude. Kira Hadley Lai, summa cum laude. April Eugene Lee, summa cum laude. Zimo Liu, summa cum laude. Alexander Ma, cum laude. Marlene, summa cum laude. Arjen Mego, summa cum laude. Georgia Eleanor Martin, magna cum laude. Bridget May McAvoy, summa cum laude. Benjamin Green Milner, magna cum laude. Tyra Alice Montan. Christopher Carl Monroe, summa cum laude. Forrest Dillingham Nelson, cum laude. Andres Palacios Ruiz Maciu, summa cum laude. David McDonald Porter Jr., magna cum laude. Jasmine Page Powell, summa cum laude. Leonard Thomas Quigley, summa cum laude. Ethan Ramonetti, cum laude. Arjun Amrit Ray, summa cum laude. Agathe Jean Yvonne Robert, summa cum laude. Charles Evans Rogers, summa cum laude. Nicholas A. Salazar, magna cum laude. Luke Smith Scheibel, magna cum laude. Kira Page Schiavone, cum laude. Sydney Marie Sonechia, cum laude. Leonardo Baptista Serodio, magna cum laude. Sion S. Brook, cum laude. Eleanor Claire Smith, summa cum laude. Julia Melita Speda, cum laude. Madison Vivian St. Clair, summa cum laude. Eleanor Grace Taggart, summa cum laude. Zachary Fielding Weber, cum laude. Ariana Werkun, summa cum laude. Duncan Sturgis Weinberg, summa cum laude. Xingyang Zhang, summa cum laude. Jihan Zhang, summa cum laude. This concludes the formal presentation of diplomas of the witty, gritty form of 2024. Handshaking will begin promptly an hour from now. Sixth form, I implore you to seek positivity. Or as we say in chemistry, go and become nucleophiles. The world needs you to do the greater good. Humanity needs you. Groton needs to hear about you and from you. Go in peace, nucleophiles. Hamba kahle is a phrase in isiZulu. The rector and headmaster Polk had a difference of opinion. The rector would say, sixth form may go. That was changed by Mr. Polk. Now we say, go well. We are all invited to have lunch under the tent. Lunch is served.